ongoing. And depending on what people say they may like, then that's what I'll base videos off of. It's basically a poll, except I don't have to have people do anything. It'd be cool if we could do a poll, but no one checks the community tab. No one. Community tab.
Get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with AI on us.
Miss Karen, that doesn't sound great.
First, who else is watching this in current year? I'm first. No, I'm first. Everyone needs to know I was the first person to leave a comment on this YouTube video. Please, I don't have a lot going on right now. Fellas,
I'm in slow too.
Say what we're all thinking here. This video is a forgery. And also a section. Hey, why are we spending our finite time spreading negativity and arguing with strangers whose minds will never change? Are we really that bitter we have to bring others down? These comments are pointless because everyone knows I'm first. Comment sections in some form or another have been around since the internet's conception, and I don't see them ever going away. So in like 200 years, historians are going to be studying
I found
to
Band-Aids.
see what life was like back then. Right underneath this video and any other video ever posted is an open forum for anyone who watched the video to leave their semi-unfiltered, anonymous
we need
opinion.
these for when we're
And
back in the
nothing bad has ever
office.
come from it. Wait, are you scrolling
A
down to read the
donut?
comments while the video is playing? You
Yeah,
haven't
donut.
even finished the video and you're reading the comments? I'm sorry, did I bore you? Are you bored? No, that's fine. Don't mind me. It's not like we were in the middle of a one-sided conversation or anything. Also, if you see any spam bots, can you report them for me?
Let's go to class, I guess. Go to class! Who wants to skip to the Christmas event? It's not Christmas! No! No!
Watching more videos. And the vast majority of you do this too, because let's map something out. If we do our last video and take the total amount of comments and divide it by views, we only get 0.4% of people who watch the video.
Yeah, I'm in class and I wrote too. Right next to the door in case I need to go to the bathroom while I'm playing that.
Watching video. I'm sure there's a bunch
That's
of people
helpful.
leaving
Let's see if my
comments.
dog later though.
People know their
Well, I don't have
thoughts, having
homework.
a simple discussion.
Why did I grab homework? Useless.
Watch the video, left a comment.
So surviving an
If you, like, did the math
apocalypse.
on, we ever had a 0.5% view to comment ratio. So only 0.5% of people are leaving comments. Why am I talking about that? Because while most of us aren't commenting,
Someone has a wheelie chair. Who brought the wheelie chair in?
are comment readers. This video and the comment section are digital
Hello.
neighbors. You
Teacher?
really don't have to
Teacher?
travel far to read comments. They're right there. Sorry if you're watching this on a TV. They are there, trust me. And I can prove most people are comment readers because a lot of times a single comment will get more thumbs up than there are total comments on a video. Which, of course they do, because who's going to take the time to write out a whole comment when
Okay,
they
we
get
don't have a
thumbs up
teacher.
for ones they agree with? The relationship between YouTuber and comment section
And why
is
people is
complicated.
going?
For one, it's the only time I get to
Oh, we get to
correct
dance
the
party while she's
conversation
gone.
with 4% of you. If you
Let's
feel
do
so
dance
inclined, you can type out a response to this video, give me feedback, tell a joke, or post a timestamp of a part you liked. And there's a 99% chance I'll never see that, but if I do, and I like what you said enough, I can give your comment a little heart badge. Yeah, I perceive this guy. Although there are some challenges with comment sections that are not exclusively YouTuber problems. Even in the early days of the internet, comment sections had a reputation of being toxic and argumentative. I
Get
will
in your
say I
seat,
have noticed
or
that
you will be
comment
stabbed.
sections are not as toxic as they were in the 2010s. Maybe websites have just gotten better at moderating, but I've noticed an overall decrease in the amount of slurs and KYSs compared to when I was 13. So
Not telling
good
the
job,
teacher why
comment
we're
section.
opening the thing.
We're growing up. I think there are 3 reasons why comment sections can be very toxic. Number 1, people
No one
are
wants to tell
more
the
likely
teacher
to
this.
speak out when they disagree with something rather than agree with it. If you come across the comment, I like cats, you're not going to go out of your way to comment, I agree with your opinion, cats are lovely. You might give the comment a thumbs up, but otherwise you're just going to keep scrolling. But if if you're someone who only likes dogs and you have too much free time, now you're getting all worked up seeing a different opinion than yours, so you're going to comment, this is really
Doing lunch bowling?
So every comment section
Who's
will
smiling?
eventually
This is
devolve into a
school.
cesspool full of
People
hate
keep on
and
trying to
racism.
escape.
But the toxicity is only magnified because of reason number 2. People are anonymous. When you don't have to face real-world repercussions
You know, get this about the
you
apocalypse.
say there's no limit to the things you won't spout out. Although there is something to be said about never being truly anonymous
Probably
online.
should grab some
Maybe in the
food.
pre-Facebook era you could get away with saying some messed up stuff. But now if you upset the wrong person, they'll post your IP address. So, for example, this guy commented, and now I'm outside his mother's home. First! And what makes it worse is you don't know if the comment you're reading is from an adult
We can't
or a
get in.
13-year-old. And yes, that matters because 13-year-olds aren't people. And the third reason why comment sections are so toxic, sometimes people just want to make you angry. You know, they rustle your jimmies. They do a little troll. I'm not saying all negative comments are trolls. You can have your genuine
The
criticisms.
army.
But we've
The
all
answer's
seen
the
comments
army.
that are just trying to stir the pot, you know? It doesn't matter how thought out or correct your response to a troll comment is. As soon as you respond, you've stooped down to their level and lost. And the number 4 reason that I just thought of
Why have
is
food
because
and
I
not
think
donut?
people can forget that behind these comments and
Who has a
profile
blue
pictures
key?
is a real person. with
Who has the
emotions.
blue key? Someone must have found it.
Made an analogy I really liked, that reading negative comments is like boxing. When you read a negative comment, it's like getting punched in the face. But with training, you can build your stamina to learn techniques and blocks to reduce the damage a punch would do to you. But at the end of the day, you're still boxing. And there's
Science, I'm not
only
going to
so many
history
punches
class.
in the face you can take
No
before you
history.
have to tap out. I can read
Not doing that
100
great.
positive comments and 1 negative one, and it's the negative comment that'll stick in my brain. I would
Get
be
to
lying if I
class.
said I never got
Been
hurt
funny
by it.
seconds.
And I know I'm
I'm
not
not
the
very
only
good at
one
getting into
who
class.
feels because there's a word for it. In psychology,
Apparently.
there's things called cognitive distortions. These are times when our brain thinks in unhealthy ways, like catastrophizing, overgeneralization, depersonalization. And one of these distortions is called selective
I can just sit wherever I want this
distraction.
time.
Focus on one detail,
Hey,
taken out
I
of
get to sit in the
context,
front.
and ignore all the other
Biology.
details. And it's not
Okay,
exclusive to reading
I
comments
actually
either.
understand.
It's the same thing when you're hanging out with friends and you make one awkward joke and you focus on that for the rest of the night and ignore all the other good interactions you have. So how do we stop this flawed way of thinking?
40 minutes.
I'm asking you. I don't
It's
know.
late.
Leave a comment. Sometimes we're able to laugh off mean comments, but I think everyone has at least one comment that got to them. For me, it's always the comments about things I'm insecure about,
A
or
lot.
the comments saying things about me that are objectively wrong. Unfortunately,
Zombies have been sighted around the
solution
city.
to deal with toxic comments is to just
Stay
ignore them.
indoors and do
Don't
not
let
approach
them
the
take up space in your brain.
infected.
If you're going to put yourself on the internet, expect to
Zombies,
see the
I
good
knew it.
and the very,
Science
very
teacher,
bad.
how'd you
You're not
know?
gonna please everyone.
Need
You
a friend.
don't need everyone.
How we suddenly armed warriors?
Leave positive comments on internet videos. Us lurkers might not get involved in the conversation, but we sure do love watching the conversation happen to the side of us.
Okay, what should I take? Should I take a
Watch this
baseball
YouTube
bat
video. Let's go see
or
what other people who watch this YouTube video are talking
crowbar?
about.
Crowbar will do more
Who's
damage.
this Bob guy? G'day everyone, it's me, James. Hello? Okay. It's for you, James. Hey, James, this is James from the future. Just wanted to...
Oh, we have to defend the school?
Puberty can be tough, but you can get through it. So I just wanted to let you know that everything's going to be okay. I love you. You got the wrong number. I grew up in a generation where smartphones were a new thing, and everyone in my class had one, except for me. My parents never got me one because they didn't want me to access the internet on a device that could fit in my pocket, because they were super strict and didn't want me looking at internet stuff, which backfired horribly. So they never gave me a smartphone. In fact, I didn't even get my first
I
cell
think I
phone
need to
until I
block-
was 16 years old. Now, as an adult who uses
Block
a cell
the
phone
what?
every day, I don't know how I survived for 16 years without one. I think when I was younger,
Save
if I was in a
us!
situation where I needed to
From
call
the
my
infected
friends,
zombies
I would just ask
will be
the nearest
fighting.
person if I could borrow their phone. Now, if there's any parents watching this who haven't given their children a cell phone yet, take it from a guy on the internet with no children. You should get them one. It doesn't have to be a smart one. You can just give them your standard drug dealer phone. You should at least give them a cell phone in case there's an emergency and they need to call you or the police. The only downside I can think of giving your child a phone is they'll end up spending too much time on it. So you should just turn off their service from time to time. I don't know. When I turned 16 and finished up my sophomore year of high school, I got my very first cell phone, an LG Cosmos 2. I didn't grow up in the 90s. Everyone else had iPhones, but I was the only one with a phone that had a keyboard on it. And with that cell phone, I've had a couple of instances where sometimes
Some people have swirly chairs, not
I was
everyone
someone
does.
else, and then wouldn't admit their
So we can
That's how you segue into the theme of
I
this
don't have a
month's
swirly
video.
chair.
This first story happened when I was working at Swoop.
Yeah, everyone
That's
else.
right, another
But I am
Subway
home.
story. Hashtag Subway where it wasn't good enough to be in the other three. So it was 5 minutes until closing, and we get a phone call on the Subway phone. We pick it up and say,
You did a bad job boarding up the
"Hello,
school.
Subway, how may I help you?" I was supposed to say,
But you should have helped with kids.
I wasn't about to tell this random stranger my name. Idiot. Anyway, the other person on the line said, "Hey, what time do you guys close?" In 5 minutes. Is it alright if I show up late? I just need gas. And being the good employee that I was totally willing to
Jana became a zombie. It's a janitor.
Just kidding. I wouldn't do that. That's a crime. Please don't
Come on,
sue me.
place
So
to
I said,
hide. Get
"Yeah, I can
to
do
the
that.
bathroom.
And he said, "We just need gas." Oh, don't worry, sir. The sandwich will give you plenty of gas. I mean, do you want chips or something? No, he said. We just need gas. I was a little confused.
Just gonna hide here with the
So you'll
kids.
get gas, then are you gonna
4
say,
hours
"Sandwich?"
later.
And he said, "I don't want a sandwich." And then it hit me. Even though the first thing I ever said to this guy was, "Thank you for calling Subway," I think he thought he was talking to a gas station. So I said, "Sir, this is a Subway?" Oh. Yeah, I know.
Donut Dave, I have your donut.
Gas pumps don't close. This next story happened when I was at home, and I got a call from a number I didn't recognize.
We have to go with Donut Dave.
Any number they don't recognize. But my
Come on,
answer
Donut
is,
Dave.
let me do it. What if it's your bank?
You're infected, I think. He's got a little donut
It's your
drizzles.
grandma. Why would you have her save you? What if it's your Nigerian uncle who wants to give you his collection of cards?
Go to town.
Information for wire
It's
transfer? You
safer.
just never know. So I always
And the
think
block
about
was
those
probably
so I
empty
answered
from
it,
all the
and it was just
army
asking
people.
for performance. And I said, "Oh,
The army's
I
going to
forgot.
war."
You have the wrong number." She goes, "Isn't this 416295?" That's obviously not the. And I said, "No, this is 416293 because that's my phone number." Again, that's not actually a valid phone number, so please don't call it. And she goes, "Breathe. I don't think I pressed breathe." And I don't know what to say to this woman because my number is 416293.
This is a good choice.
She pushed
It's-
breathe, so I don't know how she's talking to me right now. Unless she did. So I said, "Well, obviously you did." Then I made a
Good
comment.
heavens, something is in that dumpster. I bet it's soup. I guess you that blindly with your gun. Dumpster dive with Dave. Hello.
My best. I've been awake for several hours, boys. Hello?
You're going to have to come quickly. Timmy fell down the well, Vance.
What?
I said you're going to have to come quickly because Timmy fell
but I could make out one word, which was Vance. So, I did not have a lot to go off of. I said, I think you have the wrong number. Okay, goodbye. Well, I should probably get the day started, I thought as I went back to sleep. But then immediately I got a call from the same number, and I thought, okay, maybe if this person is calling again, even after I explicitly told her she had the wrong number, maybe it's not a wrong number after all. Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe it's an emergency, so maybe... talk to me. Okay. I can't understand anything you're saying. So then this woman must have handed the phone to her friend because a different voice started talking, and I could actually understand her, and I'll never forget what she said, which was, Vance, no one thinks that you're funny. And even though I'm not Vance, that kind of hurt. So I stated the obvious, which was, yes, I am. And also, I'm not Vance. And she said, no, Lance. So this whole time, these two have been looking for a Lance. So I told this woman, I'm not Lance either. And she said, well, this is the number they gave me. Okay, if she had said it like, oh, I'm sorry, this is the number they gave me. I didn't mean to call you, stranger. Also, I do think you're funny and enjoy your videos. Then that would have been totally fine. She's just shifting the blame to someone else. But instead, she sounded so condescending, like I was wasting her time. Well, this is the number they gave me, and they can't be wrong, so you must be the real Lance. So I said, well, they must have given it to you wrong. I'm too tired to be blunt. But then, she hung up on me. Like this woman just basically called a random person, said, you're not funny, and then hung up. So I decided to call her back and said, hey, I just found the real Lance. He's the funniest guy I ever met, and he told me he doesn't give his phone number out to rude pieces of shit. Just kidding on the last part. I thought about doing it, but then I went back to sleep. I didn't. And then someone on the internet found my phone number, and I changed it. And whoever has my old number is probably getting a lot of calls from strangers and people I went to high school with. Sorry. Imagine if Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu never existed. What would you be watching right now? Would you be watching this? I don't think so. You'd be watching this box right here. A television. On this device, instead of picking what you wanted to watch and when you wanted to watch it, the television would decide all that for you. And instead of watching a single 5-second skippable ad at the beginning, you'd have to watch 5 30-second long unskippable ads. Can you think of anything more annoying? An advertisement right in the middle of your show? I don't know if my parents are being cheap or trying to discourage an unhealthy habit of watching too much TV, but growing up, my parents didn't have cable television at all.
But
Now, in this modern day and age of online content,
I think in this place, there people mixes on with that thing.
In the early 2000s, online video wasn't a thing. Yeah, it was and if your parents didn't pay $65 a get cable, then you can get the channels with SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, or Courage the Cowardly Dog. The only thing you got was this green brother and sister called PBS Kids. And whatever these things are. PBS Kids stands for Public Broadcasting Service. Kids. That meant all the shows on PBS Kids were government or privately funded. So the shows on PBS didn't really have any commercials per se, but they did have the same sponsorship ads that would play a message before every show. If you grew up on PBS Kids, then Juicy Juice and Where a Kid Be a Kid. It's just engraved into them. And also, every show will thank you if you were watching. And I think that's really nice. So, everyone watching this.
We're in a boring building.
Because instead of spending hours of my time watching mindless television, I spend hours up to be a monster. So that means if your dog is normal size, they'll love you. And it probably doesn't love you. So yeah, giant red dog and really weird premise. But the episodes were about everyday things. Like this blue dog feels bad that he tore up his winter sweater, and his friends tell him to just be honest, and he does, and everyone's happy. Or the episode where this new dog moves into town, but he's missing a leg. Then Clifford and his friends have to learn that having 3 legs still means you can accomplish a lot of things any normal human can do. I'm a dog, and I rate this show a 10 out of 10. Next is Dragon Tales, the show that made dragons kid-friendly. There's Horn, he's the biggest, not so great of heart. There's Cassie, she's so shy, but so very smart. There's Zach, Dweezy, and their tails of fun. Cause you know, 2 heads are better than 1. Dragon Tales, it's almost time for Dragon Tales. The show was pretty similar to Clifford. The characters would spend an episode learning everyday things like how to do a cartwheel, or they would try to make it rain so they could show their friend what a rainbow looks like. And there was also this grandpa dragon who knew Spanish for some reason. And that wasn't the weirdest thing on the show, actually. There was also a dragon character in a wheelchair, which, just like Clifford, it's a good character because it teaches kids that disabled people are still people who can accomplish a lot of things. But I think it's a weird combination of 2 things. A dragon, a mythical beast known for destroying cities, in a wheelchair. To stop a dragon from destroying your city,
Pretty good.
just don't
Look at the
install
video.
wheelchair ramps anywhere. I should stop talking. I rate the show a 10 out of 10. Now let's talk about Arthur. Here's some fun trivia. Arthur is supposed to be an aardvark. Personally, I don't see it. Basically, it was a show about Arthur and his other furry friends learning lessons, but Arthur tended to tackle more serious subjects than the other 2 shows. Like, they have episodes where DW hears her parents get in a fight and she worries about them getting a divorce, or the episode where Arthur Falcon punches his little sister, and even having to deal with someone you know getting cancer. The character gets treatment the right way. Because it's a kid's show. 10 out of 10. Next, let's talk about my favorite show on PBS Kids, Cyber Chase.
They're not saying so.
Cyber Chase, we're moving, we're beating this game. Don't tell me every time. The show didn't teach kids morals or how to properly treat the disabled. It taught them something far more important. Men. Cyber Chase is set inside a virtual computer world, and this one character named Motherboard was supposed to be the queen/protector of this world, but she sucks at her job because the villain of the show, Christopher Lloyd, infects her with a virus. So now these 3 kids have to go on adventures using math principles to thwart the bad guy's plans to save Motherboard.
Beat this guy.
And unlike all the other shows, this show had an overarching story. The kids would always get this close to saving Motherboard, but nothing they did worked. When I was a kid, I always wondered how much longer it would be until they finally saved her. The show's been going on for 6
He's shooting nukes at us.
learning new math principles, trying to save Motherboard. Either at calculus, the show is teaching you slower than an actual school. What kind of a show makes you wait 6 years for a conclusion? Cyber Chase does, and it's one of the best shows ever created. 10 out of 10. One last show I want to bring up is called Caillou. All you need to know about Caillou is that I hate him. Caillou is a 4-year-old and a demon. He constantly throws demons whenever he doesn't get his way. Even in his theme song, he mentions how much of a brat he is. And then he's crying like a child. Well, you're going to have to grow up, Caillou. The world doesn't revolve around you. Now, you might be thinking, James, this kid's 4 years old. We're smart. And I agree. But if say that what PBS was missing was a crossover episode. How hard would it have been for Clifford people and the Dragon-tailed people to coordinate an episode where the three-legged dog finds the dragon scale, dig it up out of the sand, and this dog like to dig, except this dog wouldn't be that good. Then he would meet up with the wheelchair dragon and they could be best friends. I would have loved that. As much as I'm joking about it, as a kid, I actually really wanted a crossover episode between the shows Clifford
We killed the principal!
Days, which is another show that follows Clifford before he was interesting. He was tiny, so before Emily Elizabeth loved him. So there was a bunch of new characters that all knew Clifford when he was little, and the two shows existed in the same universe, so it wouldn't have been that unbelievable for Clifford to visit his childhood home. Then all the other characters who used to call him small or squirt would see him now and be like, wow.
Save us.
I used to get funny because it's a kid's show.
Don't freak to the left.
I waited patiently for that
Including me.
crossover, but it
And I'm stuck.
At least I have animated shorts. Friends, young smile, Clifford. It's so good to see you. That's what that's really nice to see you too. It's been over 7 years since I last saw you. Yeah, Clifford said George turned his back to him. Here I come. No quotation mark. He got ready to tackle him. He punched George up and they rolled down. Then when they got to the bottom, George hit Clifford.
Yay! Aspen won the
The
game.
three looked at the two of them.
Let me
Seemed
just
to be
click
having a
this.
staring contest, so they decided to go
Yes.
somewhere